It took Thanos all 6 Infinity Stones to defeat the Avengers. Dr. Doom defeated almost all of them without using a single one. And that's not even the most incredible thing he's ever done. Today, you're about to discover who Victor Von Doom really is, why he's considered the greatest villain in Marvel history, and why the entire future of the MCU may depend on him. So, Dr. Doom is simply Marvel's greatest villain. The truth is far more complicated. Is he really a villain? Or just a man who believed he was the only one capable of saving everyone? Today, you'll discover how a boy trying to save his mother ended up sitting on the throne of the universe, and why Marvel may have just chosen the only character capable of surpassing Thanos. In the previous video, if you haven't seen it yet, the link is in the description, we put together every piece of the multiverse saga. Incursions, variants, colliding realities. But there's one piece of that puzzle that changes the entire picture: the man behind the mask. And his story begins long before the Avengers, long before the Fantastic Four, long before the armor. It begins with a tragedy. Before defeating gods, before facing Earth's greatest heroes, before putting on a suit of armor, Victor Von Doom was just a boy. A boy who would learn far too early that some losses can never truly be forgotten. And it was during that bitter winter that the man who would one day destroy the Marvel Universe was born. Before there was Dr. Doom, there was only Victor, a boy born in one of the harshest places in the Marvel Universe, a small European nation called Latveria, a country ruled by fear, poverty, and oppression. But there's an irony hidden in this story. The man who would one day rule Latveria was born hating the very kind of tyranny he would eventually create himself. Victor was the son of 2 Romani parents. His father, Werner Von Doom, was a healer. His mother, Cynthia, was a woman fascinated by magic. But Cynthia had a secret. She wanted power. And in her pursuit of that power, she made a bargain with forces she didn't truly understand. While Victor was still a child, his mother died. But that wouldn't be the last loss that would shape the rest of his life. The rulers of Latveria wanted control over everything, including the people who lived there. Victor's father was falsely accused. He tried to escape. He tried to protect his son, but he couldn't. There's one moment that defines Victor Von Doom's entire life. A young boy holding the hand of the man he loves while realizing that all the knowledge in the world can't stop one simple thing: death. And in that moment, Victor made a promise. He would never be powerless again. And maybe that's where Victor Von Doom's greatest tragedy truly begins, because he spent the rest of his life trying to defeat a single enemy: the feeling of having no control. For most people, losing someone they love becomes a painful memory. For Victor, it became a mission. He didn't just want to master science. He wanted to conquer the one thing no human being had ever defeated. Victor Von Doom spent years trying to answer one question: how do you defeat the thing that took everything from you? The answer seemed simple: knowledge. If he learned enough, if he became intelligent enough, maybe he would never lose anyone again. And just when Victor believed he was becoming the smartest man in the world, he met someone who challenged that belief. His name was Reed Richards. The relationship between Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards may be the greatest rivalry in comic book history. But here's what's fascinating. They didn't begin as enemies. They began as 2 men who were far too similar. And that may be Marvel's biggest mistake when introducing Dr. Doom. He doesn't hate Reed because they're different. He hates Reed because Reed is the only person alive capable of proving that Victor is wrong. At college, Victor was brilliant, exceptionally intelligent. ambitious, driven. But there was one trait that set him apart from every other genius. He didn't just want to discover the truth, he wanted to own it. Victor began developing a machine capable of crossing dimensions. Its purpose? To find his mother. Because for Victor, this was never just science. It was a second chance. But there's one detail in this story that completely changes the way we see him. Reed Richards tried to stop the experiment. He checked the numbers, ran the calculations again, reviewed every step, and he found something. The experiment had a flaw. Reed tried to warn him, "Victor, your calculations are wrong." For anyone else, it would have been simple criticism. For Victor Von Doom, it was humiliation. Victor refused to accept the possibility that he could be wrong. So he activated the machine, and the experiment failed. Do you think Reed was right to warn him? Or was he just trying to outshine Victor? Let me know in the comments. The explosion left scars across his body, but the deepest scar wasn't on his face. It was in the mind of a man who made a decision. If the world refused to recognize his genius, he would force it to. The boy who had lost everything now had power. But power was never enough for Victor Von Doom. He wanted respect. He wanted control. He wanted to be humanity's savior, even if the whole world insisted on calling him a villain. There comes a moment in Victor Von Doom's life when he stops being just a man. He becomes an idea. The idea that the world would be a better place if one person, and one person alone, held all the power. After the accident that destroyed his life, Victor returned to Latveria. But he didn't return as the frightened boy who had fled. He returned as Dr. Doom. And here lies one of the greatest contradictions of the character. Across many Marvel universes, the people of Latveria genuinely love him. Because unlike most villains, Doom doesn't rule through fear alone. He builds. He protects. He creates technology decades ahead of the rest of the world. While other nations struggle with endless problems, Latveria works. And that raises an uncomfortable question. What if he's right? Not about everything, but about some things, maybe he is. Because Victor Von Doom isn't just a scientist. He isn't just an inventor. He's also one of the most powerful sorcerers in Marvel. And that's one of the biggest differences between him and every other genius. Tony Stark builds machines. Reed Richards understands the impossible. But Victor Von Doom wants to master everything. And in one of Marvel's greatest stories, even Doctor Strange is forced to admit something. Victor Von Doom may be the only man capable of confronting forces that even Earth's greatest heroes can't fully comprehend. There's a comic called Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment, that reveals something crucial about Victor. Behind the armor is a man, still haunted by guilt. Doom and Doctor Strange journey into hell itself. Victor has only one goal: to free his mother. Think about the irony. The man who conquered nations, the man who challenged gods, the man who wielded cosmic power, was still that little boy, desperately trying to save his mother. And maybe that's what makes Victor Von Doom so dangerous. He's not driven only by hatred. He's driven by love. A love twisted by pride. Thanos believed half the universe had to die to save the other half. Doom believes the universe must be controlled to be saved. That's the difference. Thanos wanted to change the universe. Doom believes the universe can only function if he's the one in charge. But everything you've heard so far was only the beginning. Because Victor Von Doom didn't just want to rule a country. He didn't just want to defeat his enemies. He wanted something no human being was ever meant to possess: the power to decide the fate of all reality. For decades, Victor Von Doom tried to prove one thing: that he was the right man to save everything. The problem is that one day, he actually did it. Long before the movies introduced a collapsing multiverse, Marvel Comics had already told the story of every reality coming to an end: the Incursions. Imagine two universes, occupying the same space. Slowly, they begin to collide, to destroy one another, until only one choice remains. One universe has to die. But here's what changes everything. While Marvel's greatest heroes searched desperately for a way to stop the end, Victor Von Doom was preparing to survive it. And then, it happened. The Marvel Universe died. But Victor Von Doom didn't die with it. At the very moment when all hope seemed lost, Victor finally obtained the one thing he'd been chasing his entire life: absolute power. He stole the power of the Beyonders. Being so unimaginably powerful, they existed above almost everything in the Marvel Universe. And with that power, Victor did the impossible. He created an entirely new world, a planet built from the shattered remains of destroyed universes, a place called Battleworld, a world where Victor Von Doom was far more than a king. He was God. And here's the most fascinating part. Doom didn't create Battleworld to destroy everything. He created it because he believed he was saving what little was left. In Victor's mind, he wasn't a conqueror. He was a survivor, a man willing to do what no one else could. But there was still one person Victor could never overcome: Reed Richards. Because Reed possessed something Victor never could: humility. When Reed finally confronts Doom, he doesn't try to overpower him. He doesn't try to prove he's the smarter man. Instead, he does something far more difficult. He forces Victor to face a truth he'd spent his entire life running from: that he never had to carry the weight of the universe by himself. For his entire life, Victor Von Doom tried to prove he was the most powerful man alive. But his greatest battle was never against superheroes. It was never against gods. It was never against entire universes. It was against one terrifying possibility: that he could be wrong. And maybe that's exactly why Victor Von Doom is so important to the future of Marvel. Because after Thanos, Marvel didn't need another villain who wanted to destroy half the universe. It needed someone who truly believes he's the only one capable of saving it. A man who doesn't seek the throne because he craves power, but because he believes no one else deserves to sit on it. But there's still one question we haven't answered. If Victor Von Doom is powerful enough to destroy and rebuild the entire universe, then why is Reed Richards still the one man he fears the most? The answer is someone who may be even more powerful than both of them: Franklin Richards. Their stories are deeply connected, not just through Reed Richards, but through the future of the entire Marvel Universe. Because the most dangerous villain isn't the one who knows he's evil. It's the one who honestly believes he's the hero. So when Dr. Doom finally arrives in the MCU, don't expect another Thanos. Expect someone far more unpredictable. A man who can make you question whether the villain might actually be right. My name is Fernanda, and I'll see you in the next frame.